guys, listen.
Wow.
All right, so people are telling me. Well, I saw xQc got what, like $100 million contract or something for Kick, which is wild. I'm assuming it's not just here's $100 million, it's all yours. I'm assuming it has to do with like there's certain parameters attached to it. But that's crazy. And my understanding is it's not even an exclusivity contract. So xQc is getting big ups. So let's see what we got here.
Zoinks. Goodness gracious. Jinkies.
Wow.
We may be in
a lot of Scooby-Doo references. Come on, give me something else.
Midst of one of the wackiest moments in internet content creation history.
I mean, the wackiest moment to me is that Kick is burning itself out trying to compete with Twitch, which makes sense that they would go so hard right now because Twitch is like taking big hits. They have bad PR. People are using them less and less. They're paying their creators less and less. And even if it is more fair on Twitch's end, let's say that, you know, their cuts are reasonable, and maybe they are, it doesn't matter because you've already promised something and it's gone backwards. And so now Kick is going ballistic promising stuff. I just wonder if they can maintain the promise. I saw them release something, or people were talking about how they're considering minimum wage for streamers. But you have to have like a certain number of viewers or something. I don't remember the specifics. I don't even know if they're going to go through with it or if it was just kind of like a PR thing to get content creators, you know, thinking more about using them. But with all these contracts and sucking people up, it seems like what they're doing is it sounds like what they're doing is taking a loss to try to pull in as many people as possible. And I wonder if that's going to be a positive long-term business strategy for them, or if that's just going to cause them to have like a Twitch effect where they promise something that they can't adhere to. And then they burn out, because my understanding is they're already giving like 95% of the revenue to the streamer themselves. So I really wonder if this is like something that's sustainable in a long-term capacity, or if it's really just like them potentially about to burn the fuck out somewhat quickly. But, you know.
If these reports are accurate, and I can't speak to the authenticity myself, I haven't had my team of analysts really dive into the weeds of it and get down into the meat here, but there are reports that xQc just signed a 2-year, $100 million streaming deal with Kick, and it's not even exclusive to Kick. If that number is accurate, that would make it the 12th largest sports contract ever signed. Now, of course, you'd have to be huffing some very serious glue.
I mean, xQc has a video about it. It's an hour long, though.
Yeah.
And I feel like
Breaking Bad stuff.
Who wants to watch the hour of xQc talking about it?
White little garbage.
Bring him to the light with time and patience.
Because I feel like I couldn't even understand it if I wanted to, you know?
To try and conflate streaming with professional athletes, but it just goes to show you the value of the contract here and just how many doubloons we're talking. I came into this world as a little baby kicking, screaming shit in my diapers, and now I'm kicking, screaming shit in my diapers all over again because I can't believe what we're seeing here. I have been tapped into the mainframe of internet wackiness for over a decade now. I'm like Charles Xavier in this throne here, in Cerebro, just looking at all of the goofiness happening across the web. And I've been doing that for so long, and I could have never foreseen something like this happening. A 9-figure deal
of everybody, of anybody, xQc. It's interesting to me. I mean, he's got pull, obviously. I'm just saying, like, I would have never thought it would be xQc of all people to do like the huge pull. Like, is he that influential on Twitch where it's like that big? Because that's crazy to me.
For a streamer to stream on a different platform, and not even exclusively, mind you. This is a non-exclusive contract for 2 years, meaning xQc gets to have his cake, eat it too, and fuck the baker. So he can stream on Kick and then still stream on Twitch all the same. He did make a Twitch stream earlier today, kind of to go over the announcement as well as the plan going forward. He's saying he's going to be streaming on Kick quite a bit, obviously.
I guess they don't really need to do an exclusivity, though. Like, why would they need to do an exclusivity deal with them? Because, I mean, think about it. As it stands, I'm assuming that xQc is at the very least changing, his contract with Twitch. And Twitch has an exclusivity as long as you're streaming on Twitch, right? So, like, you know, in the sense that you can, like, right now, I could go stream on Twitch. You just can't do it at the same time, is basically what I'm getting at. I don't know why I have to make it so complicated. Jesus Christ. And so, but why would they need to make an exclusivity contract? Because it's not like xQc is going to stream on Kick and then another platform anyway. And if he did, that would just benefit them. But that's fucking crazy.
But he can still have the freedom to stream on Twitch when he wants to. I'm going to go ahead and rip the Band-Aid off and throw a little cold water in the face of all the juicers here that are under the impression he'll probably still be active on Twitch. I don't think he will. He legitimately has no incentive to stream on Twitch. Twitch is a platform that has banned xQc like 5 times. It is also a platform that has no real contracts for top streamers anymore, as well as the lowest sub-revenue split among any streaming platform available.
Among us.
Whereas Kick has the highest sub-revenue split, a 95.5. And I would swear on a stack of Bibles with a high level of confidence that xQc not only has that $100 million for 2 years, but also gets to keep 100% of the sub-revenue he earns, which is 95.5 split. So why the fuck would he stream on Twitch often at all? He'll probably use it as just a booster, a signal booster to get the juicers on Twitch over to Kick, letting them know like, hey, this was a fun stream on Twitch for the last 20 minutes. I'm going to finish the rest on Kick. I'll see you there. Just to,
yeah, maybe.
Filter viewers over to Kick. That's my guess. But again, I'm just a dumb little fucking caveman here speculating from the armchair. Now, if you ask me, this is bad news for Twitch.
Absolutely.
This just drove a wooden stake right through the vampire's heart and then shoved garlic in its face.
I mean, at the end of the day, I really do think that this does. It's just another spelling of the end of Twitch in some capacity. I mean, they need to do something. They are so royally fucked. I honestly think that the only thing that they could do at this point is open up their deals to be non-exclusive. They should remove exclusivity contracts on Twitch. I think that's the only thing that they could do. I could understand them saying we're going to give less revenue for Amazon Prime members. I think that's perfectly reasonable, which is where I think they should have gone from the start, right? Because I feel like that's where they're like, I feel like that would be where they're losing their money is Amazon Prime revenue. But like say, hey, we're going to do instead of like you get $2.50 basically for Amazon, like do $2, $1.50. I think is whatever. Who gives a shit? And then just say, hey, you can dual stream. You know, maybe give a better split of the revenue there too. Because that's just fucking crazy, man.
This is a big poach here. Now, I mentioned this a few times in the past, but Twitch is a very top-heavy site where the top 1% of streamers on the platform account for a very large chunk of the overall watch time on the platform. Sure. So when you take the biggest streamer off of the site, you do make an impact on Twitch as a whole, really.
Yeah, I mean, on the one hand, that means that there would, well, theoretically, there would be more Twitch viewers for the rest of us. Well, I don't stream on Twitch, I stream on YouTube. And I really do it because I just like the audience better. I do have to set up like my PayPal so people can donate through there because YouTube still takes a decent amount. They say 70-30, but I was looking the other day, it's still like 50-50 because of all these different processing fees or something. So, you know, YouTube's kind of a silly goose there. And YouTube, by the way, is probably going to be this Nintendo Switch of the community. You know what I mean? Like, they're the ones that are just like, yeah, whatever. You know, they don't really give too much of a fuck, I don't think. Anyway. The point I was going to get at. Fuck, what point was I getting? Oh, on the one hand, you'd be like, oh, there's more people to view. On the other hand, xQc is a followable guy. You know, I don't think that if I went to Kick right now, I would get my audience to follow me to Kick. I just simply don't see that happening. You know, maybe some of them would, but not everybody. But so they're probably just going to dip out, or at the very least, they're going to check Kick every day before they go and check Twitch. And so, you know, I don't even know if that's just going to, I feel like, pull people away from the platform. And the only thing that'll save them is if they have, I don't know, is if they go on to see if xQc's there and then they can't, there's no one else there that they would rather watch instead. I don't really know. I really don't know.
And over the last year or so, Twitch has been continuously hurting itself in confusion. It has been making horrible decision after horrible decision over and over and over again, and it's been hemorrhaging users. A lot of streamers have been going elsewhere, whether it's YouTube or Kick or even Rumble, some streamers have been going to. It is taking streamers from Twitch and going elsewhere. The 50-50 sub split on Twitch isn't enough to be competitive anymore. The over-reliance on intrusive ads isn't enough to like keep small streamers on there because it's ruining the experience for their communities, which makes it hard for them to continue to thrive on the platform.
I mean, to be absolutely honest with you, if you really are a new streamer looking for attention and you're just like a kind of chill gaming streamer, because I feel like it's hard to do controversy stuff like I do on the platform I'm about to talk about, TikTok is a big deal for you. If you're not streaming on TikTok as a up and coming content creator, you're hurting yourself. You know, first of all, Twitch's exclusivity contracts extends to TikTok. They allow you to go on TikTok. Like that was one of the concessions they made when they were talking about opening up dual streaming. That was one of them. Not YouTube though. And second of all, it's so easy to see people. The viewership on there is surprisingly high. That's your place to go, man. TikTok is like TikTok. People keep going, oh, TikTok's gonna be gone, blah blah blah. TikTok is fucking insane. In all honesty, TikTok is like the silent movement. I mean, they're making a lot of silent moves. They're doing a lot. They have this like it's a shit program, but they're still it just goes to show you that they're doing things. They have this creator fund program that's only for videos a minute and over, which is dog shit because I think it pulls you out of the regular creator fund, which is terrible. But they still have that. They introduced like a STEM field. So you can have your kids go on TikTok and just see videos that are more STEM related, which isn't a huge viewership grab, but it's something that makes parents happy. Their TikTok live is incredibly robustly supported, even if the splits aren't as good. And it's like right there in that comprehensive pull. I mean, they're making a lot of moves, and I don't think people are seeing it. It's somewhere to really be. You know, I've even considered trying to do it as well, even though, like, again, I do controversial content, so I wonder if I would even really be able to stay. But I've considered setting it up, you know. If I decide to get a new computer, I might set up my dual stream on TikTok because it's just, like, crazy. The only problem is that it's very easy to get banned on there. So that could be, like, your negative. But it's fucking wild, bro. It really is wild how much effort and energy they're putting into it. So you should really try to dual stream on there. You know, whatever your primary is, whether it's YouTube or Kick or Twitch or I guess Rumble and TikTok, 1,000% want to be putting energy into that. Frankly, I should probably put more energy into building up my TikTok. I just like making like TikTok content, but whatever.
So they go elsewhere like YouTube. Plus, the exclusivity on Twitch makes it hard for streamers to want to stay when they could stream on other platforms not exclusive. So they could do a stream on YouTube and then a stream on Kick or, you know, this and that. Twitch has just been a platform that has been struggling to maintain its, you know, dominance on the streaming space because it's been constantly losing its footing through bad decisions. Now, yesterday, Twitch did announce that it's taking the tiniest little baby step in the right direction. They announced that they're offering the Partner Plus program where if you reach a certain threshold, which is like 350 reoccurring subs, so not gift subs or anything, that's tier 1s, 2s, and 3s. You reach that threshold, you unlock 70-30 sub split for a year. And that's like the tiniest little step in the right direction, them walking back their hardline stance on only 50-50 forever, no more 70-30. They must be starting to panic and realizing that streamers have other options. But this covers up to 100K, then goes back to 50-50, and it only lasts for a year if you don't maintain, I believe. So it's also very strict. 350 reoccurring paid subs, no gift subs or anything like that, is not an easy number to hit.
Oh, no gift subs? That's just stupid. Why? Why no gifts? I mean, I understand why. They're trying to get more people on the platform, but like, how shitty? Because I was like, oh, that's not bad. Maybe I'll consider Twitch again. Nah. I would get a lot of gift subs on there. Like, why the fuck would I? And I imagine Amazon Prime subs aren't included. Maybe they are. I don't know. But that just seems, it's like so strenuous, you know? It's like, what the fucking why? So many different like protocols. It's just ridiculous to me.
That is a lot. That is a ton. So this isn't exactly super helpful for smaller streamers. And even a lot of medium streamers don't have that level of sub engagement. That's still a ton. So it really is, once again, just like the smallest boost for the bigger streamers on the platform.
That's probably how many I would get with like gifted subs if I would committed to that platform again. I mean, I'm not like a huge fucking streamer, you know. I'm mostly a video creator. I just like stream my stuff and then I post it as videos. That's really where my bread and butter is. Kind of just come on here to chill out with you guys and get a little engagement because you guys will sometimes like even contribute to some of my content by helping me out. Like you pick stuff up that I don't pick up and stuff. So I like the engagement. But that's fucking banana boats, bro. Jesus.
Only up to a certain level. It's not amazing. Like this is like the weakest possible implementation of a decent idea you could do. Like it is, like I said, a very, very small baby step in the right direction of a good change. Twitch is a victim of its own hubris here. It got complacent at the top and it got greedy. So it is crumbling its own empire from its greed. That's why all of these other streaming platforms are growing so quickly and why so many people are abandoning the sinking ship of Twitch. That's just the reality of it. They are out of touch. They lost direction on what to do with the platform, so they just keep rolling out bad choices. And even when they do have a good idea, they're too afraid to actually just commit to a good idea. So yeah, it's very frustrating. Now I've seen the obvious comparison being drawn with Mixer because you might remember Mixer actually was able to steal away Ninja from Twitch back when Mixer still existed. And I'm sure all of you have forgotten that name. That's like an ancient relic on the internet, even though it hasn't been that long in the grand scheme of things. But it died so quickly and with such like a sad wet fart of a swan song that most people have forgotten it ever even existed. Mixer stole Ninja. They paid a ton of money. They shelled out many, many clams to get Ninja, as well as Shroud and King Ithalian, but Ninja was the #1 streamer on Twitch, and Mixer got him. And it didn't work for them. The site still inevitably crumbled, and it never got popular. It always remained kind of this pitiful little joke of a service. However, I don't really think Kick is following
Mixer walked so Kick can run. I don't know. I mean, listen, I wasn't around for Mixer, but something feels kind of like credible and serious about this movement from Kick. I don't know, man.
Following that same blueprint, I don't think its fate is set in stone the same way Mixer's was. I made a video about this on my second channel talking about the streaming wars. Kick is accomplishing something that Mixer never did. It's having people organically sign up and choose to stream there as a first option. I read a report the other day, take it with a grain of salt, I don't know how accurate these numbers are, but only a week ago, Kick had an influx of 1.2 million users sign up to the platform. Mixer probably never even saw 1.2 million people go to their site across the entire time it was alive. That was 1.2 million users signing up to the platform, according to the reports.
Well, I also think that part of it is just like the optics of the situation. Because, you know, people have their like close relationships with their streamers. They like them a lot. They want them to get treated like well, or what they perceive as well. And so when they're like, oh my God, my favorite streamers getting paid a lot, 95% of the revenue I donate to my favorite streamer is going to my favorite streamer. All of a sudden, it's like, wow, that's pretty fucking interesting. Like, that's really interesting. I mean, thinking about it now, I think that there is something to be said about like just the dynamic for donations. Like, first of all, if somebody gives you a hardline donation, why shouldn't you keep like 90% of it? Ad revenue is different. I could see why if a service was like, hey, listen, we're going to keep 70% of the ad revenue, but you're going to keep 90% of the donation revenue, and then we're going to split the subs like 50-50 because that subs will bypass the advertisements for your page or something. That sounds reasonable to me, and I could see a lot of streamers or people going like, oh, that's really fair. Like, that's a really fair thing for them to say, like, hey, we're going to take like, a good amount of the ad revenue, but you guys donate as much as you want, and the majority of it goes to your favorite streamer. And blah. There's just something that will incentivize people to donate more. You know, there's just something about it. Because even right now, people will use not Twitch to do donations. That's one of their things, is people would rather go through PayPal because it has like a much better percentage split, which I think it's like, I forget what it is exactly. It depends on how much you donate, but it could be like a very, very like less than 10%. And I feel like Twitch is hurting itself because they're so expensive. Their revenue split is so egregious that people are more likely to just not donate through them and instead donate through like a PayPal or something else. And they've kind of already set that up there now. So I don't think they could ever fix that because they've already set it up to do something like that. So they kind of fucked themselves over with that. They should have always done like an 80-20 split or something that was more fair. So people would be like, yeah, whatever, I'll just donate to the platform.
So Kick is actually just getting users to go there, which is something Mixer never had happen. That was a pipe dream for that platform. Now, Kick blew up because it kind of got the reputation of like the detention class, right? Like all of the banned streamers went to
Detention
Kick.
class.
Like Aiden Ross, which immediately blasted the platform off, and a lot of other like controversial streamers went to Kick after they were banned on Twitch and shit like that. And then a lot of controversial things happened, like the whole streaming of the Super Bowl and all that shit. So it really had a very bad reputation, and still does for many reasons. But it started to shake that a little bit because a lot of streamers that aren't banned on Twitch have decided to move over to Kick even without a contract, just because the sub split is so much better than the 50-50 you get on Twitch. You don't need as many viewers on Kick to make a living because you don't need as many subs to make a living. So a 95-5 split is very appealing to a lot of streamers. So there's recently been a lot of new creators there trying out the Kick space, which has led to a lot of new users on the site. So even when the big players on Kick aren't online, it's not a barren, empty wasteland. There's still quite a few users through quite a few different categories. So that, I do think, sets it apart from Mixer. I don't know if that necessarily means it's going to succeed or anything. I don't have a fucking crystal ball. I can't predict the future. But I will say that it does seem to be doing a lot better than Mixer did, even before the xQc signing. Now, I do want to...
I mean, at the end of the day, I don't know if it's sustainable, but it's basically like Michael Scott Paper Company. You know, it's a new business. Maybe they don't have as much overhead. There's not as much attention on them right now. They're able to kind of get away with some stuff that maybe they normally wouldn't be. Twitch isn't going to be able to because there's less eyes on them. Like that Super Bowl thing, right? Like if that happened on Twitch, that would have been a huge deal. But since it happened on Kick, nobody really seemed to care too much. From a professional perspective, because I don't think that they got a license for it. And the point I'm getting at is like, remember the whole Kitchen Nightmares thing where everybody was reacting to just like fucking television, which is wild. That was going on for a while. People were doing just fine with that, and eventually they had to step in. That's not going to happen for Kick until they gain even more mainstream popularity, because Twitch has gotten that popularity. And so, you know, they have the idea they can just kind of be like, yo, we don't really need to beat you, or rather we don't need to be like sustainable. We just need to out sustain you, kind of a thing. And I wonder if that's part of the business strategy is to say fuck you to Twitch, but then that would of course come with like things changing again and going up and down, which is why really the winner in this is probably places like YouTube that are just kind of chilling. They're just taking whatever, like I don't know if it's having a negative impact on their bottom dollar. It might be, but they just have to eat it. They don't have to care because eventually something will happen and they'll still be there, the reliable, dependable platform that's not making any promises to you that they don't intend to deliver on. And so like the real winner here, the real loser is Twitch, and the real winner really is going to end up being YouTube. I genuinely believe that. So whoa, stop it.
Yucky. I do want to talk about something that a lot of people talk about, and I do think is a very important talking point.
What's that?
Kick is backed by Stake, which is a crypto gambling casino. It's why their pocketbook is so big. And obviously, a lot of people aren't too thrilled about gambling being so prominent on Kick. As of right now, the slots and casinos category on Kick is their biggest, and it's really not even close. So that leaves a pretty bad taste in most people's mouths, mine included. I've been very outspoken about sponsored gambling not being great. You're just selling your audience on an addiction. You're trying to get them to sign up for crypto casinos and shit like that, and a lot of times they're not even using their own money, they're using house money. That is something I very much think is a load of dog shit. I think that is awful. Now, when it comes to Kick, I did extensive research on this out of curiosity because I kept hearing that Kick was mainly a front to get people addicted to Stake gambling because Stake owns it. Through everything I've read, and from every stream that I've watched on Kick, there hasn't been a single Stake advertisement or any gambling advertisement that I've seen, unless I've somehow missed them, and I haven't read reports from other users or any other publications that are reporting on gambling ads being run across any of the Kick categories outside of slots and casinos. The only place where gambling sponsors or Stake itself appear is in the slots category for Stake sponsors and shit like that.
Interesting.
So I guess kind of like what Twitch used to be before the gambling ban last year, where all of the gambling ads and sponsors existed in that one category. That appears to be how it operates on Kick as of this moment.
I mean, that makes sense. I think that's fair. You know, if you want to do gambling successfully, I think that there should be like an age requirement to view the content. It should just stay in the gambling category. You know, I think that that's perfectly reasonable and fair. Yeah.
I haven't seen anything that pushes to Stake or any gambling site outside of Stake-sponsored streamers in the slots and casinos
This
category.
way you don't pull other people
Now,
into
again,
it.
maybe I've missed it. Maybe there just hasn't been enough information about it in articles, but as of right now, that's the impression that I've been getting. And also from what I've been reading, it seems that Stake wants to separate itself from Kick. It wants to be two very separate entities that don't really feed off of each other. They want it to be completely separate. And I guess that's what they're going for here. I don't know how successful it is as of right now. Again, no matter how you spin it, pumping gambling is just bad. Now, I do think it's always worth mentioning that Twitch isn't squeaky clean either. It's backed by Amazon. Amazon is no saint of a corporation either. Amazon isn't a company of angels and high morals. That is also a pretty evil corporation that backs Twitch.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, with all the way that they're oppressing workers, I couldn't imagine being a big, leftist or a liberal saying, hey, I'll take an exclusivity contract with arguably the most evil company in the world, instead of maybe creating my own platform and trying to drive people from there to a slightly better platform that isn't quite as bad, Try to engage in some kind of just slight betterness on the world. It couldn't be me, right? Now, personally, I don't give a shit about anybody but myself, so I don't care. But I just couldn't be me. I feel like that would be I think they call it a hippopotamus, something like that. It'd be some kind of alligator, like a hypocrite. I think some people call that. I wouldn't, of course. That just seems like it's like a weird animal, like a hippogriff. Hypocrite. What is that? Some kind of a hippopotamus and dog and an owl. I don't know. But yeah, couldn't be me.
So both of the big players in
Couldn't be me,
streaming and
baby.
YouTube as well being backed by Google. Google's done so much shady shit as well. None of these
Sure.
corporations are exactly benevolent overlords
making my
worthy
own-
of celebration.
my own stream.
They're all bad and
The
evil
pee-pee
in their
poo-poos
own right.
boys.
It's just a matter of which platform you as a user or you as a streamer feel most comfortable on, I think, at the end of the day. So I just wanted to talk about that briefly because that is something that is inevitably always going to be discussed when Kick is in the conversation. And of course, it's completely understandable why. So this whole thing has been really wild to watch unfold. I actually would have never envisioned a world where Twitch would be in the position it's in today. For the last year, the writing's been on the wall. If you go back 8 months, I made a video called Twitch is Dying, and that was kind of right on the money. Twitch has been continuously going downhill, and now all of the competitors are being elevated substantially because of it. And it's all Twitch's fault. It is entirely Twitch's fault. So it's wild to watch a business sink itself when it had a complete stranglehold on the market. Twitch was the streaming
Rumble is squeaky clean. There's nothing bad there.
platform. Now it's becoming the joke. So just wanted to talk about this because obviously this is the biggest content creator deal I've ever seen. I think it's probably the biggest content creator deal ever, hands down, like in general. So yeah, I definitely wanted to talk about that a little bit. That's it. See ya.
Cool.
It was a dreamless
Shut the fuck up. All right, cool video.